करेक्ट।
गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो ये दासे तृणापे कोतिहीना। करो ये दासे तृणापे कोतिहीना। गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो ये दासे तृणापे कोतिहीना। गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो ये दासे तृणापे कोतिहीना। सकल सहने बल दिया करो निज माने स्पृहहीना। सकल सहने बल दिया करो निज माने सकल सम्मान करिते शकति देहनाता यथा यथा। सकल सम्मान करिते शकति देहनाता यथा यथा। तबे तो जाइबो हरि नाम सुखे अपराध विहत। तबे तो हरि नाम सुखे अपराध। अबे है नो कृपा लोभिया ये जाना कृतार्थ होइबे न था। अबे न कृपा लोभिया ये जाना कृतार्थ होइबे। शक्ति बुद्धिहीना अमी अति दीना करो मोरे आत्मसाथा। अमी अति दीना करो योग्यता विचारी किछु नहीं पाए तुम्हारा करुणा सारा। किछु नहीं पाए करुणा ना होइले कांदिया कांदिया प्राण ना राखी बार। करुणा ना होइले प्राण न राखे बार। गुरुदेव कृपा बिंदु दिया करो ये दासे तृणापे कोतिहीना। करो ये दासे तृणापे कोतिहीना। कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे राम राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे राम राम राम। जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा गुरुदेवा श्रील गुरुदेवा गुरुदेव। जय जय प्रभु Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki, Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuhu Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vedamscha Namavom Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahabadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashta Prayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Welcome all of you. Sorry to keep you all waiting for a long time. I was in another meeting today. For initiation also, many of you have been waiting very long time. Yeah, probably that is much longer than the time you waited for this. So the purpose of this meeting this evening is to prepare our mind for accepting initiation. Srila Prabhupada met his spiritual master in 1922. And he took initiation in 1933. How many years later? So if some of you are waiting for 11 years, you can remember the example of Prabhupada and not get frustrated. You can see that. Somebody is waiting for a long time. Because now, sometimes people think that why not initiation happen in 1 year or 2 years or 3 years? But even Prabhupada took after 11 years, you can see that. So, although Prabhupada took initiation in 1933, the very first meeting with Bhaksan Saraswati Thakur, which happened in Ultadanga, famous place, when he was coming down the steps, he said, I accepted him as my spiritual master in my heart, he said. And one more thing he said, I was very happy that Lord Chaitanya's message is in the right hands of very learned personality like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Those two things Prabhupada said. So, accepting Guru in the heart, accepting instructions in our heart is a very important thing. That spirit is very vital. So what can the disciple expect from the Guru? That is explained nicely by Devahuti in her dialogue with Lord Kapila. She is saying, Nirvinna nitaram bhuman asad indriya tarshanat yena sambhavyamanena prapannandham tamah prabho. She is saying, in this world, our mind and senses are always in turmoil. We become excessively angry, we become excessively greedy, we become lusty in this world. She's saying that this turmoil is so miserable, it makes one extremely frustrated. It's frustrating, nirvinna, she's saying. So she's saying that, oh Guru, you have come in my life for what? For liberating me from this world once and for all and avoiding me the supreme destination. That is the main duty of a Guru, to transport the disciple from material world to spiritual world. Now many people think that if I accept Guru, then I will not have any diseases or any problems. All my problems will be solved. In fact, 2.14 Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says that in this world, problems are very natural. Problems will come, they will stay for a while and they'll go away. And we have to learn to live with them. We should not go to Guru for small things, have this small problem or that small problem. Because in this material world, nobody can stop the waves in the ocean. Similarly, problems also, one problem comes, you tackle it, then second one comes, third one comes. Even Gajendra, when he was in the lake, his leg was caught by a crocodile. But that did not stop him from performing devotional service to Lord Vishnu by plucking a lotus and offering it to Lord Vishnu in Archana. So he did Archana is one of the 9 forms of devotional service, right? Archanam. So he did Archanam even though his leg was caught by a crocodile. That's one lesson we have to learn in our lives. In the midst of difficulty also, if I am taking initiation, I will never give up the vows. I will never give up my spiritual practices. And I will not give any blame to anyone or anything. And I will, it's like as we say, rain or shine. I will strictly practice devotional service all my life. One should take a vow like that, like Gajendra. Gajendra was not in a comfortable position. And he didn't give the excuse to Lord because, crocodile is biting me, so I can't chant your names. He called out, Narayana, Akila Guru, Bhagavan Namaste, he said. So that is the speciality. Sontasyarasyurubalena grihita artho Drishtvagarutmati harim kavupata chakram Utkripyasam bujakaram giramaha krichran Narayana Akila Guru Bhagavan Namaste Narayana Akila Guru Bhagavan Namaste. Sontas Sarasi Urubalena. So although he was in Sarasi, the lake, Urubalena means firmly the crocodile had caught hold of his feet and it was paining and bleeding also. But he says, Uchchippyasam bujakaram means he lifted his trunk with a lotus. Ambujakaram, with a lotus. And Giramaha Krichran, although it was very painful for him. On one hand, the pain was coming in his mind. On the other hand, the desire to serve the Lord was there. So which surpassed ultimately? Desire to serve the Lord, that took precedence, or the pain took precedence? Desire to serve the Lord. That's what should happen to all of us. None of us can say, I am free from pain. But Prabhupada had a couple of heart attacks, that is pain. And his desire to serve his spiritual master's, mission by going to America. So that was the desire to serve. So which took precedence? Desire to serve. That's the meaning of an initiated disciple. If one becomes initiated disciple, we should be able to surpass the troubles and difficulties of this world and know that we will be done with them forever once you surrender to Krishna. Krishna says that Teshamaham samuddharta mrityu samsara sagarat bhavami nachirat partha maya aveshita chetasam. If you are attached to me, I personally will come and deliver you. Tesham aham samuddharta, he says. I will take you back. Krishna says that. So, she is saying that I am not coming to you for chota-mota problems. For example, if I have a boil in the hand, somebody may blow on the boil like that. Is it nice or not when somebody blows? How many of you say nice? Some of them are doubtful. Actually, it is nice only. Who said it's not nice? Somebody blows, it's nice. But that's not the solution. He is blowing on the boil solution or applying medicine solution? Okay, when you apply medicine, it is burning sensation you get. Like when you get a wound, you put tincture. As soon as you keep the tincture, people say, you've seen that? Why? Because tincture burns. But subsequently, it will be cooling. Spiritual life is like that only. Yad dadagre, yad dadagre vishopamam, he's saying. Pariname amritameva. You will see that initially it is like visha. Rising early in the morning, chanting the holy name and eating only prasad, not eating out here and there, and following the 4 regulative principles and don't do this, don't do that. One may wonder, what is this? So many rules even for sniffing and coughing. One may feel like that. But that may be a little painful in the beginning. But if you do that, you will feel the cooling experience of the healthy soul. A healthy soul gets the true happiness. Brahma Saukhyam. Tapo divyam putraka yena sattvam shuddhyai tasmad brahma saukyam tu anantam. See, these words are very important. Tapo means austerity, parents. But divyam, he says, it is done for Lord Krishna. Even in Bombay, people in Bombay train are also doing tapasya, hanging out of the train. But that is mundane tapasya. Is it not true? So real tapasya is tapo divyam, done for Krishna. See, the word in English divine comes from the Sanskrit word divyam. You are able to see the similarity? Divya, from that comes divine. Tapo divyam. And then I'm saying, putraka yena sattvam shuddhyet. Sattvam shuddhyet means it cleanses the heart. Brahma saukyam. You get true healthy happiness of the soul. Anantam. It's unending, he says. So, she is actually asking him that you liberate me from this material world and take me back to Godhead. That is what Guru awards. Not some immediate relief like blowing on the boil. Blowing on the boil may be immediate relief. Demigods do that. Demigod worship is like blowing on the boil. But going to Krishna means going to doctor and applying the medicine. Similarly, if there is a boil, if you itch around the boil, it will look nice. You've seen that? Itching around the boil. But sometimes if you keep itching around, suddenly bleeding will happen. Similarly, demigods actually give you opportunity to scratch your boil by feeding your material desires. Like Ravana, he wanted a golden Lanka, he got it, but the result is he destroyed himself with that. He wanted a rope long enough to hang himself. That's what happened. So, but in Krishna consciousness, you don't go to the Lord for material demands. Of course, it doesn't mean every devotee has to be poor. If Krishna wants to keep you rich, he will keep you rich. If Krishna feels that it is not good for you to be rich, you will damage yourself, then he will keep you poor. Krishna can do anything. He can keep Ambarish Maharaj king of the world, Yudhishthira Maharaj king of the world. He can keep Sudama Brahmana a beggar or poverty stricken. Of course, he made him rich also eventually. But Shrutadeva was poor. But devotees don't care whether I am poor or rich. Our only aspiration is to be a devotee of Lord Vasudeva, devotee of Krishna. So we should be happy in whatever position Krishna puts us in, and we should focus on devotion service without trying to make material adjustments to lead a happy life in the material world. Recently, I went to a program. I asked, which one you prefer? Iron chain or silver chain or gold chain? Many of them raised hands for gold chain, for handcuffing. And some of them chose silver chain. Very few chose iron chain. So one small kid was very intelligent. He said, no chain. He said, why should you handcuff me? You should leave me free. Similarly, in another program, I asked a question. Would you like to be put in the criminal jail, or like a politicians are given house arrest? They said, sir, I think house arrest is better. Was telling, because you have more freedom to move around in the house. Within the compound you can move. But actual answer is what? No arrest. Therefore, our desire should be to go back home, back to Godhead. Not that you go from hellish planets to earth to the heavenly planets. So that is the duty of a guru, to take a disciple from material world to spiritual world. Devati says that. So in this connection, she gives 2-3 very nice examples. She says, Dushparasya paragam. She's saying paragam means boat. Like a boat takes you from this shore to that shore. This shore is material shore. That shore is spiritual world. And the ocean is samsara. We are in samsara in this world. So Guru crosses us and takes us. That's why we say, Yahara prasade bhai ye bhavatariya jai Krishna prapti hoya hoite. The same meaning. Yahara prasade bhai. By Guru's mercy, he crosses over the samsara and go to that spiritual world. She also says, Svabhritya samsara taro kutaram. She's saying, kutaram means axe. Oh Guru, you are the axe by which we can cut the upside down tree. Anybody knows about upside down tree? Where do we study about upside down tree in Bhagavad Gita? Who can say? 15th chapter. The 15th chapter, very first verse. Urdhva moolam adaha shakam ashvattam prahuravyayam chandamsi yasya parnani yastam veda saveda ved. That's the verse. Roots are upward, branches are downwards. Where is such a tree? Roots are upward, branches are downwards. That is material world. And the spiritual world is original tree. In the Shruti mantras, there is a verse which says this. Tam Ishwaranam Paramam Maheshwaram Tam Daivatanam Paramam Cha Daivatam Patim Patinam Paramam Parastat Vidama Devam Bhuvaneshwamidhyam Yasmat Param Na Paramasti Kinchit. What is the meaning of this? Yasmat Param Na Paramasti Kinchit. Beyond him there is nobody. Same thing Muslims say. La ilaha illallah. They say the same meaning. That means beyond him there is nobody. Yasmat Param Na Paramasti Kinchit. Yasman Naniyo Jo Yosti Kinchit Vrkshaivastabdo Dividishtatyekas Tenedam Purnam Purushena Sarvam. See, third line says Vrkshaivastabdo. He is the original tree. It says material world is a upside down tree. And then he is saying Tenedam Sarvam Terena Purnam Purushena Sarvam. Who is Purna Purusha? Krishna. Yeah. So Shruti mantras are talking about Purna Purushottam. Krishna. Because Maryada Purushottam is Rama. Purnam. Tenedam Purnam Purushena Sarvam. It says, he is a Purna Purusha. He is the original tree of the spiritual world. Material world is upside down tree. In the upside down tree is in the Pratibimba, reflection in water. But you see the mangoes in water also. But you can't enjoy those mangoes. It's called as happiness in view, but out of experience. It appears like a mango. You go down in the water, you will not be able to get it. You won't be able to taste it. But the real mango is an original tree. Therefore, we should go to spiritual world. And Guru is one who gives you, Guru is like the axe with which you can cut down the upside down tree and you can go beyond that to the original, tree of the spiritual world. Another example she gives is, Tasyatvam tamasondasya dushparasya paragam satchakshur janmanamante labdham me tvad anugrahat She's telling, Sat Chakshuhu means you are the transcendental I, she's saying. So in that verse, one verse before that I told you, she says that all of us in this world, we have this material senses which are covering our spiritual senses. See, your spiritual body is there, but it is covered by a blanket of the material body. And the material body has senses which are called Kadindriya. And the spiritual body has senses which are called Sadindriya. Sadindriya means spiritual, pure. And Kadindriya means material, impure. So how do you know somebody's senses are impure? Impure senses will be attracted to impure things. For example, impure cinema poster, somebody's eyes are attracted. Some raucous music, somebody's ears are attracted. To eat non-vegetarian food, tongue is attracted like that. Impure senses are attracted. But when you meet Guru, what Guru does, he gives the program of Rishikena, Rishikesha, Sevanam, Bhakti Ruchite. So when he engages our senses in Lord Rishikesh, Krishna's service, the impure senses become pure. So the outside blanket of the material senses, they should become as pure as the inside senses. That time you get liberated from the body. You don't need the body anymore. You are freed. Just like you have a crutch now, when you have fractured your leg. But if your leg has become all right, do you need the crutch anymore? You don't need. Similarly, you will see that once the soul has awakened himself fully and the material bodily senses are no more required, you leave behind the material body once and for all. You go back to Godhead. So we have to make the impure senses pure. So initially we have Rajoguna, Tamaguna means impure senses. And when you come to Sattoguna means semi-pure. And then in Sattoguna you persist for a long time. Then the senses become pure senses. Then one can go to Vishuddha Sattva, which is ultra pure. That is a 24 karat gold. Pure by engagement in Krishna service. So by that, then one is eligible to enter into spiritual world. So therefore she is saying, our mental disturbances due to anger, greed, lust and all these things, she is saying that it's all due to impurity in our mind and impurity in our senses. So in this world, one of the main duties of Guru is to cleanse our heart, cleanse our mind, cleanse our senses. Therefore, Radha Govindji, Govind you say? Govind is for, the mantra for Govind? Govinda is actually master of senses. Go means senses. And Govinda means one who gives pleasure to our senses. But actual pleasure to senses will truly come when you engage in spiritual activities. So 3 mantras are there. Jayatam surato pangar mama mandamater gati matsarvaswapadam bojau radha madana mohanau. I recited this because our presiding deity is Madan Mohanji here. But the next one verse says, Shriman Rasarasar. Oh no, what is the second? Divyat Vrindaranya Kalpadrumada Shrimat Ratnagara Simhasanastho Shri Shri Radha Srila Govinda Devo Preshtalivi Sevyamano Smarami. This is for Govind. Here he says that Divyat Vrindaranya Kalpadrumada. So there is Kalpa Vriksha tree in Vrindavan, underneath which Radha and Krishna are standing. And they are accepting the service of the devotees. He is Radha Govind. So Radha Govind we should offer. So by offering, like for example, rising in the morning, bathing the deities, feeding them madhupak, putting beautiful dress on them and ornaments for them, offering puja for them, offering bhoga to them, bringing sacred waters for them, singing songs for them, praising their glories by reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, keeping the home sanctified by inviting Vaishnavas to home and feeding them prasadam, and keeping a stock of books at home and going and distributing the books. Then in this way, all these are for Govind, Radha Govind. It's engaging our senses, Rishikena, Rishikesha, Sevana. So I have seen many people bring deities to their home. We go for a welcoming program also. But afterwards, slowly the children are more interested in worshipping deity and the elders become very busy with various activities. But the elders also should take interest in worshipping the deity at home. And not only just do the rock bottom minimum, but also put up festivals for the deities. Celebrate festivals, invite all the neighborhood people. There is one professor in Kanpur, Leela Purushottam Prabhu. Morning is Bhagavatam class, evening is Bhagavad Gita class. And he has been doing it for the last 30 years. He's doing it. Daily he has. And he has made hundreds of IIT boys and devotees. And he is married and he has 3 daughters also. 3 children. And one of his students from IIT Kanpur graduated and he went to Patna and he also joined IIT Patna. So he has called me now this year I may go. So he, in his place, he started the same thing. Morning Bhagavatam, whole morning program, Mangalarti, Narsingharti, Tulsiarti and Bhagavatam. And evening, again Narsingharti, Tulsiarti and evening Bhagavata class. Daily he has. 40, 50 students come. He said, now he's also doing the repeating the same type of program. Why I'm telling you, these people can act as inspiration for us. We may not be able to do it every day, but at least we should know that in this planet, there are also people like that who are very committed and very dedicated to the movement, fully, blissfully situated. I don't know how he can have such a smile on the face after keeping schedule so tight. Morning, evening, he has such a tight schedule. Daytime, he goes to college. He's a very both are famous professors in the college. They publish papers also. Only, I wonder how they get time. But they told me the secret, how they get time. If you have Krishna, you have time. Do you know why? Because Krishna says, time I am. He says. These fellows always have time. How they find time? Only they know. The more you become Krishna conscious, your prajalpa will be avoided. No time for prajalpa. No time for quarreling with anybody. No crossing with anybody. No time to worry about dualities like Sukha Dukkha, Shita Ushna, Man, Apaman. You don't worry about them. You leave it to Krishna. Therefore, all this time is saved. Then you find that your time is for prescribed duties and Krishna consciousness. So, in this way you find, she's saying, Sat Chakshur Janmanamante. You have given me the divine eyes, like Chakudan Dilojay, Janma Janma Prabhu. Same thing she's saying. Sat Chakshur Janmanamante. Guru has given me transcendental eyes to see everything spiritually. Like for example, if I see Leelanand Prabhu materially, I will see him as IT engineer who is US returned. But if I see him with a spiritual eye, I'll see a wonderful Vaishnava who is cultivating hundreds of devotees, making them devotees, right? So we should see how. Should we see materially or spiritually? So when we become devotee, we should accept Guru as the father, Shastras as the mother, and all the Vaishnavas as relatives. So the Vedas become our mother, Guru becomes father, and Vaishnavas become relatives. And we see Vaishnavas as Vaishnavas first. We don't see them from a mundane point of view. So in this way, if you have spiritual eyes, when you look at the deity, you will see the smile of the deity and see it as transcendental. Lord personally coming as Archavatara to accept our worship. And also you see Guru's body as transcendental divine. Kintu Prabhorya Priyayeva Tasya Vande Guroshi Charanaravinda. One should not see Guru's body to be material. One should not see Vaishnavas with Jati Buddhi. Arche Vishnu Shiladir Gurusha Naramater Vaishnave Jati Buddhi Vishnorva Vaishnavanam Kalimala Matane Padatirtembu Buddhi Sri Vishnu Namni Sakala Kalushke Shabde Samanya Buddhi. And then Sri Vishnu Taditara Samadhi Yasyava Naraki Saha. This is in Padyavali. Our Rupa Goswami writes many items which we should see spiritually and not materially. Arche Vishnu Shiladir means don't see the deity as made of material elements. Although they are made of material elements, now that they are installed, they act spiritually. Like paper, for example, can act as a newspaper, but a paper can act as a currency note also. Is it possible or not? It is possible. You may say, no, it's just paper. Yeah, it's paper, but what it is? If it is currency note, you will keep in your pocket. If it is newspaper, you will put it in Radhi. Correct, no? Similarly, if it is deity, you will accept it as worshipable because it's authorized by God himself. Ultimately, this has come from Krishna also. Krishna can manifest from anywhere. Just like such a pillar like this, it broke open and who came out of the pillar? Yeah. That means Lord can manifest himself from a pillar also. And where did Varahadev come from? Who are parents of Varahadev? He came from the nostrils of Brahma. So that means Lord can come manifest anywhere, in a pillar or from the nose or in a deity form, anywhere. So devotee has a firm faith that, Lord is accepting my worship in his deity form. Arche Vishnu Shiladir. And then one should see Guru's body as, Guru one should see as, he is eternal servant of Lord Nityananda, eternal servant of Srimati Radharani, engaged in their service. And I am assisting my Guru, and then my service will be, we say ascending service, descending mercy. Guru is how, because Radharani is giving service down, 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 coming through Guru to us. And then when we give service to Guru, it goes up, 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 goes to Radharani, and Radharani gives to Krishna. So one should see that through the agency of Guru only, I am getting seva from Srimati Radharani. Through the agency of Guru only, my service is reaching Krishna, and then Krishna gives his mercy through Radharani through the Guru Parampara to us. So one should see this thing spiritually, transcendently. One disciple went to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, one devotee has become a sahajya. I wanted to complain to you. Prabhupada asked, what does he say? He asked. So this devotee said, Prabhupada, he says, when we go for book distribution, it is exactly like Sakhis, going and reaching to the other Sakhis and inviting them to join the rasa dance under the Vamshiva tree. Prabhupada said, brilliant analogy, he said. Wonderful, it's correct. What he's thinking is perfect. And because Prabhupada said, Nikunjayuno, Ratikeli Siddhai, Yayali Bir. So somebody asked Prabhupada, can you tell this confidential meaning of this? Prabhupada said, this means book distribution. Prabhupada said, this means engaging in the service of the divine couple. That means the Sakhis are connecting all other Sakhis to Krishna. Like there are one category of Sakhis called Nitya Sakhis. They are showing direction to other Sakhis how to go to the Vamshiva tree and join the residence. They are more eager to connect the gopis to Krishna than going themselves. They will go last after sending everybody. So Prabhupada said book distribution is like that. These book distributors are dispatching people back home, back to Godhead. So therefore, one should know that how to see things transcendently. Arche Vishnu Shiladir Gurushnaramatir Vaishnave Jati Buddhi Vishnorva Vaishnavanam. One should not think of the Charanamrita to be a very sweet, nice syrup to drink. Give me one more glass. Sometimes people drink three glasses. If Charanamrita, you should take like this. And then meditate. It is, who is Padodakam? Vishnur Padodakam. Think like that and then you drink it. So that is the meaning of spiritual vision, seeing spiritually. But if we drink 2-3 glasses, we fail to see it as a holy thing. We see it as an enjoyable thing. Oh, my tongues are titillated, very nice. I'll enjoy. So then we get into enjoying mentality. Just see. Same with, dancing also. I was very fortunate. I was in Chowpatty way back in 91. In those days, the congregation was very small, young, probably 250, 300 people in 91. And by 93, it became like 500, 550, 600. Then between 93 to 99, 98, 99, that is the time it grew up. We saw the community growing up very big. So in those days, His Holiness Ranath Maharaj himself would dance with all the devotees in Gaura Arati every Sunday. So he was only teaching us how to stand in front of the deity and raise the arms and dance, go forward, backward, and Hariharaya Nama, how to dance. He would dance very gracefully, softly, slowly. Soft steps he would dance and actually he would dance with a very devotional attitude. Dancing is not done like the break dance they do in movies. Some people are doing break dance and they get into a Hollywood, Bollywood mood. So that is done with enjoying mentality. Or singing also. Singing is not done for enjoying the tune alone. Singing should actually be done for the pleasure of the Lord. It should be sung. So you all understand what I am saying. In the same manner, the Charanamrita should be accepted with a devotional mindset. And one should not consider the Lord to be, similar to other deities. Lord is unique. There is no one equal to him or higher than him. One should accept Vishnu Tattvas to be on the top. There is no one beyond Krishna. So, in this way, one should give up material outlook. One should have spiritual outlook. After you are getting initiated, one should adopt the spiritual outlook. There is one verse which says, Srimati Radharani is watching that this disciple is going for initiation. And the disciple wants to take a vow that I will follow 4 regulative principles and I will chant 16 rounds every day. And the disciple is surrendering to Guru. Radharani is so innocent and pure-hearted. She takes your statements very seriously. On the day of initiation, it is said that Radharani hands over the jiva to Krishna, saying that this jiva is linked to the Guru Parampara. Please accept him and Divyam Jnanam Yato Dadyat Kuryat Papasya Sankshayam. 2 words are used. Diksha. Di means Divyam Jnanam Yato Dadyat. That means the Guru gives Divya Jnan and elevates us. And Ksha means Kuryat Papasya Sankshayam. Ksha means he destroys, nullifies the sinful account. That is Ksha. Di is Divya Jnan. Ksha is Papasya Sankshayam. So Guru does these 2 things on the day of initiation. He has enlightened us to the point where we know all the truths very clearly. Krishna Tattva, Bhakti Tattva, Rasa Tattva, Shakti Tattva. All the Tattvas are very clear to us. And with clarity of wisdom, we walk ahead in spiritual life. And also our sinful account is nullified. Karmani Nirdahati. His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj gave a very specific understanding about this. He said on the day of initiation, Krishna comes forward to take away. That's why you put a plantain, a banana, into the fire, yajnik fire. The yajna kund is Vishnu's mouth and the yajnik fire is Vishnu's tongue. So when you put the banana in the fire, that means Vishnu has swallowed your sinful reactions. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. So you are... when I got initiated in 93 May, I had gone to Bombay, I got initiated. So on the way back when I was coming, I felt a big baggage on my back is removed now. It's like now you feel very light, you are practically floating because Guru has taken it away. But His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj made one more point. He said, Krishna takes away your sinful reaction but does not burn it away, he said. He keeps it with him. And whenever you become mischievous, he will keep releasing little bit. He said, as much proportionate to your mischief. Small mischief, small amount of pain he will give. Big mischief, big pain. So devotees wonder, how is it I am initiated? Why still some disease is coming? Still some problems are coming? Because Krishna sees that we are deviating from what we promised to Guru. Then Krishna will proportionately give us some suffering. And then in case we prove to Krishna that I am fully aligned with you, you can see for yourself. Then he will burn it all away. Karmani nirdahati kintu jabhakti bhajam govindamati purusham tamaham bhajami. He says that. So, in this way, the Devhuti and Kapila section is very beautiful. As I told you, three examples. Guru is the axe to cut the upside down tree. Guru is the divine eyes to see the world with a spiritual outlook, not with a material outlook. Guru is like the boat who takes the jiva from material world to the spiritual world, she's saying. So in the 11th canto, there is one very important verse to be known while taking shelter of Guru. All of you please repeat after me. Tasmat Gurum Prapadyeta Jignasu Shreya Uttamam Shabde Parecha Nishnatam Brahmani Upasamashrayam. This verse is a beautiful verse because it tells you, first line talks about what disciple should do. Second line talks about what is Guru's qualification. Both are mentioned in this. For disciple it is said, Tasmat Gurum Prapadyeta, one should take shelter of Guru, it says. In what mood you should take shelter? Jignasu. That means what? One should be inquisitive. It's very important. Sometimes you give a 2-hour class. Any questions? Nobody has questions. One fellow was raising hand. That is the time I stopped my lecture. After a couple of hours, we had kirtan lecture. Because he raised hand, I told the people, it's getting late now. Let us take a few questions. So I told that man, please ask, what's your question? He said, no, Prabhuji, my question is answered, he said. What is the answer? I asked him. I wanted to know when the lecture will end. That was his question, So, no other question. So, disciple shouldn't be like that. Like you can see how Parikshit is enthusiastic for asking questions. When Shodhya Goswami is saying that, one snake named Kaliya came to Yamuna and Krishna danced on him and drove him away. Just he finished it very quickly. But Parikshit said, please tell me, who is that Kaliya? Where did he come from? How did he take shelter of Yamuna? How did Krishna drive him away? He was very poisonous. What damage he caused in Vrindavan? Do not cut short the pastime. Tell me as elaborately as possible. Do not think that I am hungry, I haven't eaten prasad, I have not slept, and I have not drunk water. Don't think like that, he said. So, seeing Parikshit's enthusiasm, Shukadeva Goswami appreciated him also. There is one verse where he says, Vayam dhanyatama loke guropi ksatra bandavaha vayam pibamo muhustvatta punyam krishna katamritam. He's saying that, oh Guru, I am so blessed. In this world, if one hears Krishna Katha, he is fortunate. One hears Krishna Katha from a pure devotee, he is more fortunate. One hears from a pure devotee again and again, he is the most fortunate. And I am the third category, he says. I am the most fortunate. And then he says, please don't stop the Krishna Katha, go on speaking, he says. So that means disciple requires such enthusiasm to hear. One shouldn't, as years progress after initiation, we should not become dull for hearing. We should not be only eager for speaking, we should be eager for hearing also. He says, so hearing that, Shukadeva Goswami told him that, Jan nutanayasi ishasya punyam Krishna katamuhu. He said that, hey Parikshit, for you, every time I speak, it looks ever fresh for you. You are super enthusiastic. We have seen in our temple, the Yellow Brigade brahmacharis, younger ones. When I give class, when some senior fellows giving class, they'll be sitting so close in the front, as if they're going to sit on your lap now. They'll jump on your lap. They'll be with notebook and pen noting like that. Very, very enthusiastic. And then afterwards, slowly when they become little senior, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, they'll slowly go behind. Then little behind. And then finally, after 10 years, probably you'll be in the last row. One leg inside the temple and one leg outside. So the Prabhupada actually wanted to reverse the situation. So what Prabhupada did, in Mayapur and Vrindavan, he told, put those square seat for whom to sit. That seat was put for whom? Senior most people. If you see in Prabhupada's videos, they will be sitting with danda right in the front. In fact, juniors will be lamenting that we can't sit in the front unless you become senior. They will be sitting behind and trying to, grasp the class. Seniors will be sitting in the front. Now, why the reverse is happening? Because the taste is lacking. So, one should be very enthusiastic, like Parikshit was very enthusiastic. Secondly, one should be very attentive also. Attentive. Parikshit was very attentive. When he heard that after the Agasura pastime, 1 year, the boys didn't tell the parents. Next year they told. He immediately asked the question, why next year? What happened to them in that 1 year? Were they put to illusion? They forgot or something? So then Shukadeva Goswami answered the Brahma Vimohan Leela, which happened in that 1 year. So attentively hearing, attentiveness is also glorified in another verse of Bhagavatam. Our Sutta Goswami says, in that great assembly where Shukadeva was speaking, Parikshit was attending, I was also there. He says that. Tatra kirtayado vipra rishe bhuri tejasah aham chadyagamam. I was also there, he says. Aham chadyagamam tatra nivishtastat anugrahat. By my Guru's mercy, I was very attentive in hearing. So those of us who are very attentive, you will see that you progress in spiritual life very fast. You will see that. Even Prabhupada's Guru told during Diksha of Abhay, when people brought his name, Abhay Babu, we want to send him for Diksha. I said, all right. Guru said, oh, Abhay Babu. He likes to hear. He said. Even one Sheshashahi temple, all devotees said, we're about to go. The Yatra leader announced, anybody wishes to go and take darshan of Sheshashahi, you can go. Those who want to stay back and hear Guru Maharaj, he will speak. So Abhay Babu preferred which one? He said, what will I see if I go to the temple? I can't get proper darshan. I don't have the eyes to see. I have charma chakshu. I have a material eyes. If I hear Guru, he will teach me how to see. Therefore, we say, what is that very beautiful? Sesabastana Heriboami, it comes, Pranayi Bhakata Sange. Gaura Amara Sesabastana Korelo Brahmana Range. Sesabastana Heriboami Pranayi Bhakata Sange. Shuddha Bhakata Charana Renu Bhajana Anukula. Bhakata Seva Paramasiddhi Premalati Karamu. Mula. You know what he says? He says, I will visit all the places visited by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but not alone. With whom will I go? With Pranayi Bhakata Sanghe, with Premi Bhaktas. Those who have the eyes of love, they can see those places and with great excitement they can narrate the pastimes. I will hear the pastime. If I hear well, I can see well. If I don't hear well, I cannot see. So many people have hearing problem. If they hear, therefore you will see Parikshit was attentive, and even Nivishtasthad Anugraha, that is Sutta Goswami. You see, in the entire assembly of Shukadeva Goswami gave only two names, attention to two names. One was Parikshit, repeatedly glorifies him. And then another time, in the 12th canto, Shukadeva Goswami pointed finger to this Sutta Goswami. He said, all of you take note of this. There is sitting Sutta Goswami. In future, he is going to speak this Bhagavatam to hundreds and thousands of sages. Like that he predicts. The verse comes in 12th canto, you will see that. In the 12th canto, you can find out that verse. And then Sutta Goswami says, it's by his mercy I heard the Bhagavatam, I am repeating now. But how did I hear? Nivishtasthad Anugraha. Nivishtas means very attentively I heard. Soham Shravayishyami Yataditam Yatamati. He says that I heard well and I will present it as per my realization and my level, depth of understanding. But he heard well, so he could present well. So why I am spending so much time on this attentive hearing? You know, Guru's body, Guru's form is available to the disciple for some years. Like my spiritual master met Srila Prabhupada in 71. He saw Prabhupada only till 77. And that too not many times. But after that you can see 77 to 2022 now. During this entire practice, it's actually serving in separation. Correct, no? So you can see Prabhupada disciples, 50 years they are practicing Krishna consciousness, even in separation from Prabhupada. That goes to show how much their hearts are fixed in the Vani of Prabhupada. Prabhupada says the spiritual master lives in his sound vibration. And the follower lives with him in sound vibration. So Guru's Vani is eternal. One should capture it and carry it on one's heart. If you do Vani Seva, many of you here, you may not have got opportunity to meet your spiritual master personally, one-on-one, and get a chance to ask questions to him, hear from him, and get to be known by him one-on-one personally. But if you are very faithful in hearing his Vani and applying it in your life, implementing in your life, you get the same benefit what a devotee gets by talking to him one-on-one. Like one disciple told Prabhupada, I got a dream, he said. What was the dream? He said, there was a chariot and in the place of Krishna, you were standing. And in the place of Arjuna, I was kneeling down. And you were instructing me like Krishna was instructing Arjuna. So what should I think about this Swapna? Prabhupada said, wonderful dream. Prabhupada said, it's very appropriate. If you hear from me, it is as good as Arjuna hearing from Krishna. He said, there's no difference. Because sound vibration is like the electricity coming in the line. Like here the bulbs are all shining because the connection is there. Without connection, they won't glow. So similarly, you are getting that connection to Krishna through the Guru Parampara, through Prabhupada. Like that Prabhupada told them. So in the same manner, those people who don't serve the Vani very nicely, they will always keep complaining that, I never got a chance to talk to Guru Maharaj. I never got a chance to, see him closely. We only see him in the altar. Either they will keep complaining. In those days, of course, the chances were more. In Pune Yatra, we used to see him for longer time in Yatra. Nowadays, even in Yatra, you can see him on the dais. Personally meeting is pretty difficult unless he roams around in the evening time or afternoon time, meeting devotees. So we may not get Vapu association so much. But if you are fixed in Vani, you will be very cheerful and happy always. That Vani will be ringing in your heart. Guru Maharaj spoke this. He told I should do this, I should not do that. So those words will be ringing in our heart. And we all have to learn to live by receiving that sound vibration like that. Otherwise, we will become very morose in spiritual life. Like Prabhupada, in Prabhupada times, there were some disciples who would travel with Prabhupada wherever Prabhupada went. One time Prabhupada was sitting in an airport. Many disciples sat around him just like the bumblebees, drinking honey from a flower. They were all sitting and watching Prabhupada. How Prabhupada is smiling, Prabhupada is seeing it, Prabhupada is seeing there. People even remember very meticulously, correct, no? Prabhupada was effulgent and all that. But Prabhupada was looking and smiling at some devotees who were distributing books in the airport. Huh? These fellows are looking at Prabhupada, and Prabhupada was looking at those who are distributing. So he was very happy with those who are entering service. Huh? And those fellows have taken the Vani of Prabhupada in the heart with great respect for Prabhupada's desire. They were distributing books. Huh? So we should learn the art of connecting with the Vani of Guru. Huh? I had gone to one time to Shamshabad. I got an opportunity to meet Chinnajir Swami that time. We were fortunate. He gave us 1 hour to talk. Huh? So I told him one point, Maharaj, I'm very amazed. Many of your disciples abroad and India and abroad, I see that probably you may be seeing them once a year or so. Just give them darshan and give one lecture and push off. How is it that your disciples are doing so many nice things? Huh? They are giving crores of rupees for certain projects, huh? And they are working very hard. Huh? And where are they getting that motivation from? Where are they getting that energy from? So he spoke very briefly. He said, the disciple means you should know the will of Guru and live it and breathe it. Huh? Guru doesn't even have to raise his tone and say, why you didn't do this or why please do this. Guru should not even have to speak it out. You should understand what the Guru expects from me and breathe it. That's the meaning of disciple. And then he said, I have a few disciples like that across the globe who are very faithful to my instructions. I don't even have to check with them second time. What I even say casually, they take it very seriously. He said, sometimes I don't have to even speak up also. They know through my lectures and everything what I expect from them and they implement it. I really like that point. That the disciple should dhyayanta, pujayantascha, japantascha nityada. The prachetas, about them it is said like this. When Lord Shiva came in the forest, actually prachetas came in the forest. At that time, Shiva emerged from the lake outside. So immediately, prachetas offered obeisances to Shiva. So Shiva smiled and Shiva said, I am hankering for association of Vasudeva Bhaktas like all of you, he said. Otherwise, I am always getting to meet demigod worshippers who come and demand me, give me this, give me that, give me. So many give me people I have met. Huh? Now I am meeting on Krishna devotees after a long time. I am so fortunate. So Shiva felt very happy. Darshanam no didakshunam dehi bhagavatarchitam rupam priyatamam swanam sarvendriya gunanjanam. From this verse onwards you will see he is telling, my dear prachetas, I will tell you the glories of Supreme Lord Vishnu and I will teach you one song called as Rudra Geetam. If you sing this song, you will get darshan of Vishnu and he will fulfill all your desires. So he accepted the prachetas as his disciples and he gave them the Rudra Geetam. You will see that. And then after they received the Rudra Geetam, that's where this point comes, which I told you now. And Lord Shiva disappeared. And what did prachetas do? 3 words are used. Tad dhyayanto. They meditated on those instructions. Japantascha. They were speaking to one another. Hey, Guru Maharaj said this, Guru Maharaj said that. He said we should do this, we should not do that. He expects us to do this. Japantascha. Pujiyantascha. They kept those instructions in the topmost pedestal of their hearts and they were worshipping it. You know the meaning of worshipping? Worshipping means what? You adore it, you admire it, you worship. Just like some fellows have hero worship or heroine worship. Correct? In the room they put a big picture of cinema actress or actor. You seen that? They are worshipping. Like one boy had Bruce Lee, very big. The whole room. And he will all the time be practicing karate. So everybody in this world is worshipping somebody. Correct now? So they were worshipping the instructions of Shiva, who is their guru. Prachetas. Very faithfully they followed the instructions. And sure enough, Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu appeared in the Ashtabhuja Roop for them and blessed them. So similarly, Dhruva Maharaj, he took shelter of Guru. Guru gave him mantra. He got Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and we got Hare Krishna mantra. His Guru told him to make a form of Vishnu and worship. So we have got a form of Krishna and we are also worshipping. Isn't it? So his Guru told him to offer some flower to the deity, fruit to the deity. We are also offering something to our deity also regularly. And his Guru told him to follow the devotional path of meditating on the form of Lord and the pastimes of the Lord, and which we are also doing by hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam. But of course, what Dhruva did is very difficult. You have to stand on one leg for 6 months. What will happen? You can't stand even. We don't have to do such austerities. But eventually, Dhruva got darshan of Vishnu eye to eye. So we will also eventually come to a stage where when the Shishya is faithfully following, a time will come when Krishna's vision will come, realization of Krishna. Initially, we receive Krishna through our ears. And then when mind is cleansed, we see Krishna reflected in the chitta, in the mind. So the form of Krishna manifests in the chitta of the devotee. Eventually, as we become more and more cleansed, Krishna's qualities become manifest. Krishna's tenderness, Krishna's bhakta vatsalyata, karunyata, mardavata, arjavata, ambhiryata, chaturyata, and apadbandhavata, anadarakshakata. Many, many qualities of Krishna will arise like waves in the mind of the devotee. And that's what is called Kallola Magnau Muhu. We sing, What is that verse? Goshanta vidhi sarvato vrajapure. No, not that one. Another line. Kedair maha. So Kallola Magnau means when the waves in the ocean, they come like this. And then they hit like this. That's called Kallod, we call it. Similarly, the Goswamis would be meditating on Radha and Krishna and the Gopas and Gopis and the cows and calves pastime. One pastime, another pastime, they will hit in their mind like that. Multiple pastimes will be arising in their mind. So, initially the name, the form, the qualities, and subsequently pastimes of the Lord. So, when those things become our absorption, all the worldly, dirty gutter will be driven out. That has no room there in the mind and heart of the devotee. The heart of the devotee is constantly vibrating spiritually. It becomes a playground of Lord's pastimes. And that is the perfection of Bhakti Yoga. When we come to the stage where the bhava, those symptoms are said, kshantir, avyartha kalatvam, viraktir, manashunyata, asha bandhak, samutkanta, namakane, sadaruchi, asaktis tadgunakyane, pritis tadvastistale. So there are 9 things. So I'm concluding with this point. Kshanti means tolerance and forgiveness. Avyartha kalatvam. Shanti avyartha kalatvam means a devotee should not waste a single moment. Sometimes we go from one Krishna conscious activity to another. In between, you give a gap that is filled by sense gratification. So don't give any room for sense gratification. Go from one Krishna conscious act to another, moment after moment consciousness. So kshanti, avyartha kalatvam. Virakti means losing taste for sense enjoyment. Manashunyata, extremely humble. Manashunyata, asha bandha. A devotee never loses hope in spiritual life. Even if there are difficulties, challenges, ups and downs, a devotee always keeps hope in Krishna that avashya rakshibe Krishna, vishwasa palana. A firm faith that, yes, I have difficulty. Like one time Prabhupada was in Prabhupada dialogue I read. Prabhupada said, now the situation has become very challenging. It is extremely difficult, Prabhupada said. And then Prabhupada added, but I am not going to give up. He said, we know it's difficult, but we are not going to give it up just because it is difficult. So devotee has that firm to strive, to seek, to find and not to yield. In the Ulysses, one of the poems, he sings like this. When going gets tough, the tough get going. So with full faith in Krishna, asha bandha. And samutkantha. Utkantha means, just like sometimes you are waiting for a train. If you hear any sound, like that you will see, you will stretch your neck. You can't. You will stretch like that. That's called samutkantha. That means one should be longing to get Krishna's shelter. Not just I did the 16 rounds over today, I'm relaxing now. No, one should be longing. How will I please Guru more? How will I please Krishna? How will I please Vaishnavas? How I can become a better devotee? Constant improvement in spiritual life. One is never complacent. That is samutkanta. And namagane sadaruchi, having great taste for singing the holy name or chanting the holy name of Krishna. Asaktistad gunakhyane, describing, attached to describing the pastimes of Krishna. Like once my special master, he was in Mayapur. After going to Calcutta, he spoke Nityananda Trayodashi, lecture on Nityananda for about 2-3 hours. And then when he reached Mayapur, he met His Grace Jananivas Prabhu in the garden. And Jananivas Prabhu said, "Oh Maharaj, I came to know you gave a very nice Nityananda Trayodashi lecture in Calcutta, and just now you arrived in the afternoon here. Afternoon 3 or 4 o'clock he reached." Maharaj said, "Yes." And Jananivas Prabhu said, "So what is the essence of what you spoke?" Maharaj said, "Yes, if you like, I can tell you." And they sat in the garden and for another 2.5 hours. That's the essence of the lecture. So he spoke the same pastimes all over again. He never got tired. That's the meaning of asaktistat gunakhyane. Pritistat basati stale. Desire to go to the holy dham and go to the spots where Krishna performed pastimes, and fondly remembering those pastimes and feeling great relish in the heart. Like these are all symptoms of bhava in spiritual life. So the disciple who faithfully practices under the guidance of Guru will eventually come to the stage of bhava and prema, and one can return back to Godhead. Now all of you have enthusiastically been practicing all these years. Now you know the point of initiation is coming now. And after initiation also, one should go with a renewed enthusiasm, with a double vigor, more seriously, and make further advancement in spiritual life. Go beyond the bhajana kriya to anarthanavritti and nishtha, and experience the great fruits that are promised in the scriptures for faithful practitioners. We should be eager for that. We should not become complacent and pious materialists. We should not become stuck up in spiritual life. We should keep progressing. Actually, you have to see progressive devotees. Look at Krishnananda Prabhu, correct? You know, Krishnananda Prabhu, he studied his computer science in Rice University. And then when he came to India, he was working with Kurukshetra as a professor, along with Saffron Dress. 1 year he worked like that. And then he joined, and he and Sukadev Maharaj, they both lived in Kurukshetra together. They were living like beggars, very poor situation. One day, one rich man running on the road saw these two people, their dedication, commitment. So he gifted a temple there in Kurukshetra in those days. So you can see him. He's one of my senior whom I very much deeply appreciate for his enthusiasm. Although his health had gone many ups and downs, he'll be always fired up devotee. You have seen that? So these are devotees in whom we see symptoms of serious practice in spiritual life. I had really wonderful seniors to meditate upon and cherish. His Grace Radha Gopinath Prabhu is one of my heroes, whom I most admire associating with and hearing his lectures. His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj, His Grace Sanat Kumar Prabhu. So these are like devotees whom I see as role models, role model devotees. So every one of us, there are so many Matajis. You have so many Matajis who are sincerely practicing. You make those ladies your great heroine. Similarly, Prabhus, you should have role model devotees whom you very much admire in spiritual life. And then that is one thing which can be a great motivator for us. Simply remembering them. We say, what is that? Darshane Pavitra Karo. Very nice song it is, isn't it? It's true for the Guru and true also for very advanced Vaishnavas. Ei baro karuna karo Vaishnava Gosai. Ei baro karuna karo Patita pavana toma vine ke hona. Yahara nikata gele papa dure jai. Yamana doyala Prabhu ke bakota pai. Gangara parasha hoile paschate pavana. दर्शने पवित्र करो ये तुम्हारा गुण. हरिस्थाने अपराधे तारे हरिना तोमास्थाने अपराधे नाही परित्राण प्रतिजन्म कोरे आशा चरणे रदूदी नरोत्तम करो दया अपनार बोली दैवर करुणा करो वैष्णव गोसाई. So, why we take initiation from spiritual master? Our connection with him becomes stronger after initiation, because just like initially your relationship with the Guru is you are just inspired, but when you are taking Diksha, you are committed. You are giving your energy, your time, your attention, your wealth, your wholehearted consciousness. So it's a practical commitment, accepting Diksha from a Guru. So Tasmad Gurum Prapadyeta Jignasu Shreya Uttamam. Shreya means ask questions about spiritual world. That is Shreya. Uttamam, beyond darkness. That's spiritual world. And what is his qualification? Shabdi Pare Chanishnatam. Shabdi means scriptures. Pare means Krishna. Shabdi Pare Chanishnatam. He is an expert in these two subjects. He is thorough in scriptures and he is thorough in the understanding of Krishna. Spotless understanding he has. He is fully convinced. Shabdi Pare Chanishnatam. And Brahmani Upasamashrayam. He has fully taken shelter in Krishna. He has no second thing he is attracted to. He is attracted only to Krishna. So in this way, that verse also talks about taking shelter of Guru. It's a beautiful verse. Subject is a big subject, but I briefly explained to you. And we are not sure about exact date of initiation. When will it come? Many people today also asked me after the morning program, Prabhu, do you know exactly what is the date and what is the venue? Is Maharaj coming to Hyderabad? They asked. I said, generally he doesn't announce it so easily, and he doesn't put any date in his calendar so easily. Now, I work with calendar. My calendar is online available. Anybody can see it and find out a date and fix. But that is my style. But Maharaj's style is, whenever he feels like initiating, he will call Gauranga Prabhu and say that, okay, next week I am ready. And you all might not have planned, you may have so many engagements, you will have to throw everything to wind and come. It happened like that last year. So when will that happen? Only he knows, Krishna knows. But one time I asked Maharaj, why do you keep disciples aspiring for a long time and keeping them longing and longing? He said, by longing they get purified. By more and more longing, I would like to see them get more and more purified before they can. Because once they take initiation, then they think, I have a ticket back to Godhead. I have a Vaikuntha passport. They think like that. So let us hope and pray that he gives soon. Actually, we all are also eager to see all the aspiring devotees get sheltered properly with their new names. Like to see that. Personally, I have put a word to Maharaj and I have even invited him to Hyderabad also. Because last time when I went, as soon as he came from America, I got a chance to go and meet him in Govardhaneko village. I was there. He gave me almost a couple of hours because nowadays I am traveling to US also. So I told about my US trip as well as the Indian different temples, including Hyderabad. Then at the end, I told Maharaj that, Maharaj, some 10, 12 years ago, you came to Hyderabad in the temple hall, you gave initiation. Devotees are all remembering it. And it will be nice if you can again give initiation in the same manner. You have not seen the new temple hall. He saw the old temple hall. Now it's all very nice, marble and everything, beautiful. You can come and see the temple and also give initiation. Maharaj just smiled. We will see, like that he said. So let us wait and see. Shri Prabhupada ki, Guru Maharaj ki, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki, Radheshyamdas Bhagavatam ki. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. If one or two devotees have question, one Prabhuji, one Mataji. Prabhuji would like to take question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, you gave a very nice example of Gajendra. Even though in such a painful situation, he lifted his trunk and served. So we all aspire and take your blessings that we also do like that. Prabhuji, my question is, while we hear from Maharaj, we are living with the seniors. So can we take their instructions equivalent to Guru Maharaj?
You will see that many people do not get direct access to the spiritual master and they are connected to Guru through seniors. There is one article by His Holiness Bhakti Maharaj which he submitted to GBC. The name of the article is Uddhara Guru. Uddhara Guru means who delivers the jiva. So he says 6 things, he says, which delivers the jiva. One, he says, the jivatma's shraddha in the Lord. That is one. Second, he says scriptures. Scriptures. Because if you have scriptures, by study of scriptures, your eyes open. You get spiritual eyes. Shastra chakshu you get. That delivers you. Then shraddha, then scripture, then nam, he says, the holy name. There are verses in CC which says that simply if holy name becomes merciful on somebody, he'll be delivered. It says holy name. Then he said, Srila Prabhupada is a preeminent founder Acharya. His Shiksha is the foundation for us. So Srila Prabhupada and the Diksha Guru, who is giving, because Diksha Guru is the one who attracts the jiva and places him in Krishna's lotus feet. And then Shiksha Guru. So these 6 people jointly deliver the jiva. And then he goes on to say, the percentage of your weight of Shraddha in these items will vary. For some people, with the Shiksha Guru, they have 90% faith. And with Diksha Guru and Prabhupada, they may have 10-20%. They may not know much like that. Some people, Shiksha Guru is just a connection for them, that's all, 10-20%. But all the faith is Diksha Guru. They say, Maharaj, 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 Maharaj. Even though they have not met him also, they have a very deep affection for him, like that. Then there are some people whose whole strength comes from Prabhupada. They have heard Prabhupada's lectures, Prabhupada. They are dreaming and breathing Prabhupada. You have seen people like that? Prabhupada, like his own Giriraj Maharaj, if you say, correct, no? Not only Prabhupada disciples, even grand disciples also. Prabhupada. So they get 80% from Prabhupada. Other 20%, Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru, all these fellows like that. So, in this way, you will see that there is different weighted average, we say, put together all these things jointly delivers the jiva. So Maharaj gave this article. So now nobody can be ignored or neglected in these 6 items. All are important. But in case one's instruction from Shiksha Guru is satisfactory and one is going on and on, it is very good. One need not feel that, what about, you are not taking instruction from Guru or, other, you don't have to worry about it. At the same time, one important thing I will tell you, one warning also. We should take instruction from our immediate Shiksha Gurus, but we should know that our Shiksha Gurus may not be liberated. Like you can see that, there is Prabhupada, then Prabhupada disciples, then Prabhupada grand disciples. So Prabhupada has already gone back to Godhead, so you can take his books very seriously. Because he has given Shiksha through his books. He is a founder Acharya also. Now his disciples, some of them have spent 50 years in the planet. So they are definitely liberated and very exalted. And they have no chance to fall down. Many of them have been very, very stable. Except a handful who may fall, sometimes you see like that. So they should be given respect according to the dedication. For example, somebody came in 71, many of us came in 90s or the 2000s. So for the long years of dedication and realization, so we can definitely know that they are more realized. Their realizations are far superior. Then our Shiksha Gurus who are teaching us, we know that they are also struggling to advance in spiritual life. We are also struggling, but they are struggling on a platform higher than us. So they can be role models. So Prabhupada says in one place, either you should be a pure devotee or a struggling to be pure devotee. So Gurus and Prabhupada, they are all pure devotees. And then the people next to them, they may be struggling to be pure devotees. So their struggle also inspires us. How sincerely they are trying to be pure, and we can follow them. At the same time, in case any of them fall down or deviate, we should not have blind faith in them. Then we should be able to take shelter of somebody who is not fallen. Gurur avaliptasya karya akarya ajanatah. Mahabharata says this. If Guru becomes avalipta, means if Guru falls down, Shiksha Guru or Diksha Guru, then karya akarya ajanatah, he doesn't know what is right, what is wrong. He has become blind, he has given up chanting. He is running after Maya, then we cannot follow them. Then we should. But as long as you see that he is faithfully following his Guru, he is nicely situated, then you can also follow. And lifelong, simply by following Shiksha Guru, also people can go back to Godhead, because Shiksha Guru is connected to the line. So by following him, you will also attain exalted position. Hare Krishna. One more, and we'll conclude. Yes,
Hare
ma'am.
Krishna,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat.
Prabhu, as we were mentored very well, that we are doing 16 rounds,
Correct.
more and more japas in certain days. All 4 like regulative principles we are doing. So what else we should do to please Guru Maharaj?
That I told in my lecture, in the middle of my lecture, I told that Grihasthas can worship deity at home, and bathe the deity, dress the deity, put ornaments for the deity, stitch clothes for the deity, do arati for the deity, offer bhoga to the deity, and also cook prasad, invite the neighbors and put up a program. If you can host a program in your house, invite some senior Mataji to come and give class for other ladies. Or if you can't do that, you can also do a program for the children in your housing colony. Once in a week, Friday evening or Saturday evening, call some 20 children and teach them Krishna consciousness. And also during marathon time, you can have a stock of Prabhupada books stored in our flat, and you and a few Matajis can go and put a table in the temples, some nearby temples, and sell Prabhupada's books. You will get special blessings, you will get, if you do that kind of book distribution service, And also, if one's house is small and one cannot put up a program, then some Matajis help in cooking prasad for children camps. There are girls camps, children camps. There are different type of some Matajis teach girls, some Matajis are teaching children, some Matajis are giving class to other Matajis. So in our society, ours is a preaching movement. So if you are preaching and bringing people to the movement, or we are polishing the existing devotees. But His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, especially I'll tell you, his expectation is, whatever service suits you, some Matajis come to temple and do garland making or cooking for the deity. Any service you do, Maharaj will say, you should deal with Vaishnavas respectfully. Trinadapi Shunechena, Tararapi Saishina. This one point he stresses a lot. He will say that we should not become arrogant or we should not commit aparadhs. That's one thing he will stress. Another thing he stresses cooperation. Maharaj will say that, collective unity is superior to individual purity. He will say. So you should work with other devotees cooperatively. He will say. Another thing that he stresses very much is Vaishnavas coming together and reading Bhagavatam together, chanting together, keeping friendships with one another, supporting one another, and helping other devotees. So he is very much fond of seeing devotees dancing together in circles. He will say many circles, many circles. He will say he likes to see devotees. What he says is we are all old. Eventually we will be gone, but the devotees should have a congenial, sweet relationships. So he very much emphasizes on Preeti Lakshanam. So he emphasizes on 4 qualities: humility, tolerance, and respect, and freedom from false prestige. That's one thing. And emphasis on Preeti Lakshanam, emphasis on unity. And he is not a person who will expect you to become a great scholar in scriptures. He will say, that's useless, he will say. He will only want you to become a humble practitioner, apply practically. So these are things which he emphasizes. And he will say that you should please Hari, Guru and Vaishnavas. All of them. Not only Guru. You should serve, satisfy and please Hari, Guru and Vaishnavas. So that anybody you ask about a devotee, they will say, oh wow, what a wonderful devotee is. Their hearts should be touched. That kind of good behavior we should have. That is the express. So he emphasizes a lot on behavior amongst devotees. And also, when you are meeting new people, he will say that make them feel nice, make them feel happy, and let them feel wanted, loved, cared for, sheltered, protected. Give them nice prasad, talk to them nicely, help them connect with you well. And then when they are open-minded, then give them Krishna consciousness. So these are things he stresses. He is not very much after only the quantity of results. He is very much after how we kindly treat, sensitively we treat other living beings, other devotees. These are some of his instructions I am telling you. So if you hear his lectures regularly, then you will come to know these things. These are things he emphasizes. He is himself a very compassionate personality. So we can take note of these things in our lives and we implement them. He is himself very humble. He is non-boastful. He will take a back seat. He will not come in the front, but he will do a lot for the Prabhupada's mission, being in the background. Fortunately, we got to see him one-on-one personally for last 3 decades. It's my good fortune. Such a man of very high character and very high devotion, completely soaked in devotion. So when you hear his lectures, videos, we will clearly come to know what he wants. And those are the things we should make notes and follow in our life. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada ki, Radheshyam Maharaj ki jai.
By loudly chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. It was a very wonderful session. Prabhuji has made us aware of all these things, what you are supposed to aware and what you are supposed to practice. And I really thankful to Mahalingam Prabhu and Mataji to ask 2 vital questions. 2 vital questions that everybody must know. I really thankful both of you. And just after this announcement, we all feel that today is Ekadashi, Harivas Tithi. Let us have 5-minute dancing kirtan, and then Mahaprasadam ready for everybody after Prasadam. So we request everybody to wake up and fold the carpet so that we can have nice dancing kirtan and then Prasadam. Thanks. As Prabhuji is reminding Maharaj, suggest us to have a small circle and do dancing kirtan.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Everybody together. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Haraya Namah, Krishna Yadavaya Namaha, Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha, Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana, Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohana, Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Sita, Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavata Gita, Shri Rupti Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha, Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare जय राधा मदन मोहन राधा मदन मोहन राधे राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय जगन्नाथ निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग निताय गौरंग जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 श्रील प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनन्तकोटिवैष्णववृन्द की कलियुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की श्रील प्रभुपाद की थैंक यू वेरी मच
Hare Krishna. Now we request all the devotees kindly facilitate Mataji to take prasadam first. Mataji, please take prasadam first, followed by Prabhuji's. Of course, Varishta Vaishnavas will be exempted from Prabhuji's. Hari Bol. Prabhuji is suggesting and instructing us, Mataji's children and Varishta Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis.